What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome back to Corey's DieCast In. Today, I have a number of cars from the G Case, 2025 G Case from Hot Wheels that I stumbled upon today at a Kroger. First time I'm seeing any G Case around my area, so pretty excited. Got some pretty cool models in here. A few of them, I believe, are carryovers from the F Case, but yeah, let's check them out. First guy we've got is the 92 Ford Mustang, which I believe was from the F Case, but did not find it until now. One we haven't seen in a while, 69 Mercury Cyclone. That's, I believe, from the G Case for sure. Got the recolor of the 67 Chevy C10 in black, which I think was F Case. Got a new model for the G Case. This is the Ford Model A Custom 31. Pretty cool. From Hot Wheels Screen Time, from Fast and Furious, we have the Chevy El Camino, all blacked out. Another new model here from Race Day. This is the McLaren W1. Been looking forward to this guy. Latest version of the R33 Skyline. 70 versus 90s. So I'm sure we'll see a 70s version eventually. And last but not least, for sure, is the Datsun 240Z from the Art Cars series. Been very excited to find this guy as well. So, per usual, let's open them up, check them out on the turntable. Alrighty, let's start with the F Case cars, I guess. We'll look at the 92 Ford Mustang. This is also from the 70s versus 90s sub-series. So I'm sure we'll see a Mustang from the 70s at some point. They used to do a Then and Now series, which I don't think I've seen in a while, so maybe this 70s versus 90s is kind of a similar concept, but I like this model. I think it's a little big and a little chunky compared to the real car, but that's how it be sometimes with Hot Wheels. I really like this color combo. Very nice. And like I said, I think this originally came out in the F Case, which I've seen very minimal amounts of around here. But finally found G Case the first time today. So finally picked up the carryovers from the F Case that I'd been missing. But yeah, really big fan of the Fox body Mustangs. And I think that's a cool one for sure. All right, let's look at the 67 Chevy C10. also in black. This is from the Hot Wheels Hot Trucks series. Came out earlier this year sometime in a like baby bluish kind of color. Same kind of deco and design as this one. As you can see there, it's kind of hard to see, but you got some gray detail and lines. My lighting's not great. Still never been able to master a good lighting in here. Really nice model, in my opinion. Really cool Chevy trucks from Hot Wheels. And I think it looks really good in black here and nice and aggressive. And have this kind of tan kind of cream base, which I thought the base would be the same color, but got a gray base. But yeah, very nice truck casting. It's up there in some of my favorite Chevy truck castings, along with the 83 Chevy Silverado, which there was supposed to be that light blue one in the G case, but that was one of the few G case models I did not come across. I'm sure the employees or the scalpers already got to them before I got there. And I also did not even find the regular version of what would be the super treasure hunt of this case, which is the Porsche 911 Rally, the Dakar casting in green. Didn't even find the regular version of that. But, so I'll be on the lookout for those two models. Alright, we'll just stick to the American cars and check out the 69 Mercury Cyclone. This is a pretty cool muscle car casting as well. I don't believe we've seen this in a while. Can't think of it last time we had it. But this is a nice version. Got the traditional black 5 spokes. Kind of hard to see. Once again, I apologize. And then it's got the Cobra Jet 420, what is it, the 426, 428 engine label on it. Very nice color. This is from the Muscle Mania series. So glad to see this again. There's a Mercury Comet Cyclone gasser kind of casting as well, but this is just the regular 69 Mercury Cyclone. I believe there's another Cyclone casting. I forget what the exact name is. I could be wrong, but it's hard to keep track of all the things Hot Wheels comes out with, but I like this a lot. Very cool. Somewhat stock-ish. But yeah, reminds me a lot of a Torino, Ford Torino, which the two cars may have shared some parts or designs. I'm not completely sure, but I know they have always kind of looked a little similar to me. But yeah, I can really appreciate some muscle cars, especially when they're done right, like this one. Even though I feel like European cars and JDM cars have definitely kind of taken over the popularity in Hot Wheels over the years. But I like me some old muscle cars and modern muscle cars, so glad to have it. Speaking of muscly cars, we've got this Chevy El Camino which on the base it's this 1967 Chevy El Camino in particular from Fast and Furious. Not sure what movie it's from, but I know we got this casting, I think it was earlier this year or late last year, in a Fast and Furious silver label set that came with that like gray metally looking cage around it. And got some tail light detail. Not really any headlight detail, but got some black MC5 wheels with a chrome rim. It's pretty nice. Other than the cage and front headlights on the Silver Series version, this is pretty much the same car. Different wheels, of course. And I'm not sure exactly why Mattel thinks it's justifiable to charge 3 times as much as a mainline for just some headlights and a plasticky cage, but business is business and making money, so whatever. I don't even think that Silver Series one was a metal base. I'm pretty sure it was a plastic base, such as this one. So, yeah, just a little rant or complaint I have. But this looks really cool. It's like a matte black color. It says El Camino. It's pretty sweet. A lot of black cars in this case. All right, so the last American car from the Hot Wheels Dirt series, the new model for 2025, is the Ford Model A Custom 1931. And sometimes it really kind of gets on my nerves how like flashy and customized Hot Wheels sometimes makes real cars, but in this case I appreciate what they've done with it. It's pretty cool. And it's not too over the top, at least in my opinion. It's got like a I don't know if you'd call it matte red, but sort of color, number 43. And then it's got some really good detail, like some rust effects, weathering. And then the top is got some plastic. So it's not really got a roof, so I'm sure you'd get rained on. And then it's got some little bit of engine detail in there. And yeah, I think it looks really good. Looks like a old car that's, whoops, definitely an off-roader now. That's just been sitting outside and got some weathering effects. And I really like it. Got some pretty cool wheels on it, which I'm not sure what these ones are called or even if we've seen these before. We might have, but so no headlight or taillights, but I think it makes up for that with the rest of the detail. And I'm a fan. Looks really good. Guys can let me know what you think. Moving right along, we'll look at the Nissan Skyline R33 GTR. Saw this a couple times last year. Once in premium and modern classics in a nice, clean, gritty version. And then we got the 2 Godzilla R33s in the main line last year. One in white and then one in like a dark gray. And this time we have an HKS livery. Usually not really my thing graphic wise, but I think the color combination and the execution is pretty good. Looks really sweet, kind of graffiti ish. No headlights or tail lights in the back, which is kind of disappointing, but I'm kind of a Skyline fanboy, so I'm not going to complain too much. Still looks pretty cool in my opinion. I know a lot of people are probably tired of all the Skylines, and they probably do release too many, but it's okay with me. But yeah. So we got HKS and Yokohama. Only found one of these, so I'm sure it's still pretty popular. And we'll go ahead and look at another JDM. We got the Datsun 240Z, which I feel like we haven't seen in quite a while in the main line. Gotten some multi-pack exclusives in recent years and some mystery models in recent years, but I could be wrong, but I don't think we've seen it in quite a while in the main line. And I believe that we're getting a second recolor of this in like a some kind of a pink color. And once again, this is in the Art Cars series. Usually not a big fan of the art cars. They're just too much, too colorful and flashy for my taste, but this has got the T on the top. It's a very nice metal flake blue color. I think it's beautiful. And then you've got the cherry blossom theme on it, which I think looks awesome. Once again, no headlights or taillights, but it happens in the main line. And we've got the J5 wheels in black, and been very excited for this one. I love this casting, and I think it is kind of flashy, but I'm a huge fan. And from what I've seen, the pink one is pretty cool looking as well. So I'm glad to see this back in the main line. Love Z's, especially the 240. And kind of reminds me of, I think it's some other Datsuns that we've maybe seen in the past. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but awesome in my opinion. If it wasn't for the lack of light detail, I'd probably give this like a 8 or 9 out of 10. But like I said, beautiful color, and very well done in my opinion. Love it. And last but not least, we'll look at the um, another new model for this year, which is the McLaren W1, a hypercar. The W1 is actually the successor of the McLaren P1, which there are tons of versions in the Hot Wheels catalog. They are both hybrids, hybrid V8 turbo cars. The McLaren P1 had about 900 horsepower combined, and I read that this one has like it's either around 1200 or over 1200 combined horsepower, which is insane, and like over 900 pound-feet of torque. And I always complained about the McLaren casting having the larger rear wheels, which is not my thing. think it looks kind of goofy, but I still like the casting overall. But as you can see with this guy, not the case. Got the black Y5 wheels, same size all the way around, in this really nice McLaren-ish orange. I think that's the same orange that we usually see on McLarens. It says McLaren on the hood. Got like an air vent or hood scoop type thing. Just a very nice detailed model in the actual molding of the casting. And technically not any rear lights either, which is kind of weird since there's nothing else Tampa wise on the car. But I think this thing looks awesome, looks mean and aggressive, and it's definitely fast, having about 1200 horsepower. So I'd say it's an improvement over the P1, if you ask me. But yeah, I forget the top speed. It's definitely, I want to say it was like 220 something miles an hour, maybe more. But yeah, that's the McLaren W1. Let me know what you guys think of these models and what your favorite was. And I hope you guys have a good Friday night and a good weekend. And until next time, guys, catch you later.